Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I would like to share with you guys my final thoughts on the Miguron knives Keryx 2. Now I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Keryx. However you say it, no matter. But I want to tell you guys that this is going to be a highly recommendable knife. I'm going to point out a handful of key features that make this to me essentially a perfect knife. For what it is, right? It's not a super crazy mega slicer. The action isn't out of this world, but the build quality and finish for the price is truly remarkable. It definitely wants me to, I want to check out more from Miguron. So there aren't too many knives that have been doing that as of late. Just because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, you know, I feel like I got my money's worth. Yeah, no, now I got a deal on this. I purchased it off of JD for EDC. This was his. He purchased it and he sold it to me, discounted price. He actually put skiffs in here, so the action isn't going to be exactly what it is out of the box. This is, has been used a little bit. I used it a good bit. The edge is completely gone at this point. And I do need to put a good working edge on this, but I'm going to do that later on. So I've just been kind of busy doing other stuff. But I want to share that there are 3 different variations. I did find them available on White Mountain Knives. So the 3 different variations, they're all at the same price point, $189.88. So for White Mountain Knives, there are a handful of other YouTubers that have like 10% discount codes. Lefty EDC has one, Wayne Sharp World, Love Them Knives, I think Stasa 23 Knife Therapy, I think he also has one too, so that's pretty cool. You can go ahead and use one of those to get a little bit off your purchase. 2 of the 3 are available as of the recording of this video. There is a black coated one, the scales at least, and then these all share the same hardware finish and blade finish. They're calling it a high-end bead blast. It looks just like a regular bead blast finish. I'd prefer stonewash, but that's of course a visual personal preference. It's still good to go. It's better than the satin in my opinion, because I just I don't like satin. So there's the black one. Then they have just an all monochrome titanium one. That probably would have been the one that I would have gotten. And then this one that you guys see in front of you, it has a bronze anodizing from the factory, which is very clean and consistent. I do definitely like that. It's even here on the pocket clip, so I like it. It's very subtle, very simple. It's not loud at all by any means visually, but one of the coolest things I do definitely like about this is after actually taking it apart and cleaning it and seeing how it goes, how easy it is to take it apart and put it back together. It's incredible. It's absolutely wonderful. Another thing too, there are ginormous pockets of weight relief on the inside of this, and the surface area of the actual weight relief is diamond textured. That is incredible. So this is a knife that is in the price point of most budget We Knife Co. knives. This has miles worth of micro milling than we would ever offer. This is an M390 as well. While the M390 HRC is recorded at, I think, 59 to 61. It's not great. It's not the best. I wish it was a little bit higher, just as anybody else would as well. But if we were to have done this, We Knife Co., not myself, but if we were to have done this, you wouldn't see any micro milling here, nor on this side. There would be no diamond texturing on the inside of the weight relief. It would just be very simple. Probably wouldn't be also the titanium pivot collar right there, just cause. And you would probably have T6 for the clip and the lock bar, hardened steel with the ceramic detent ball right there, a little insert. There's T8s all over this whole thing. You need one Torx bit size to disassemble and reassemble this knife. That is excellent. That is wonderful. That puts it into a category of mine where I would consider it being closer to a perfect knife. So, as I mentioned before, this isn't an incredible slicer by any means, but the shape of the blade does lend itself to being a wonderful utility blade for sure. So, if you go and creep up on it, and you can put your index finger here, see how it's shaped right there. For me, at least, it lands perfectly, and I can go and do score cuts and things like that, and it's excellent at that. Also, when you go to disengage, it is smooth enough, but not super drop shreddy to the point where you're gonna lose your finger. It comes down and kind of just knocks into your nail. It's not that bad. I don't really have any complaints about that, but I do definitely enjoy that there is essentially a full-size finger choil space right there. Ergonomically speaking, this is excellent. I love being right here in this spot. This is wonderful. There is jimping that's over here, but that's not intended for spine jimping. That's actually the front flipper in the closed position, and I do definitely appreciate that the jimping goes all the way around. It is sharp enough, but not uncomfortably sharp. It's not unnecessarily sharp. It is sharp enough to comfortably and confidently engage and actually get the blade out every single time. You can land right on top of it if you want, kind of on the side or in front using the side of your finger, and it feels pretty good. The leverage that you get, the positioning of it in correlation to the pivot, pretty good in my opinion. You can definitely flick this on the seam of your pants if you really wanted to. I've seen some people do it where they take it, well, as they're pulling it out of their pocket, they kind of like brush it like this, and the jimping actually will snag a little bit and get the blade out. So I've done it a couple times, not reliably, but you can do it for fun, right? So there's that. But I would say my favorite way to interact with this is probably going to be the reverse flick. It's the most comfortable, the most fidget friendly, probably the most reliable as well. This design, because it is a exposed frame lock, it is a little susceptible to being locked out or death grip, whatever you want to call it, where you add unnecessary tension to the detent because you're putting some pressure on that exposed frame lock there. So definitely reverse flicking is going to be my preferred. Let's do some size comparisons and we'll get the weight. Kind of all over with this review here. I usually do weight and size comparisons first, but I just had so much to just spiel about this thing. So up top there we have the Wii Praxis. Below here we have the Spyderco PM2. Those are definitely going to be much larger designs overall. This is the Civivi Vision FG. It's a little bit longer, not by much. We got the Benchmade Bug Out. So the Bug Out is shorter than the Keryx. And then last two here, Spyderco Native 5, definitely a whole lot shorter, and the F5.5, pretty darn short. So I think that the Keryx 2 definitely falls into a medium or medium category of knife that a lot of people are going to enjoy. I know I'm pretty late to the game when it comes to reviewing this thing. I just felt like sharing my opinion, right? That's the whole point of reviewing things, even if it is late. I never really cared to follow like the latest and greatest, mainly because I'm not financially stable to buy the latest and greatest every single time a new knife comes out, which is like every other hour. But an opportunity presented itself from another YouTuber and I jumped on it, and I'm very glad that I did. So I don't really know what I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be something that feels like, I don't know, something that feels kind of like an older Kaiser, or, and you guys know what I mean by like an older Kaiser. It has the Kaiser rattle when you go to disengage. It's so light, it almost feels a little cheap. The only experience that I have with Miguron is my Moyaro. And this is a around $50 knife. It's a budget knife, right? A sub super budget knife. And it's excellent for what it is. Now, it's missing a lot of the typical nuances that you would get in something of the price point in comparison to like Civivi, or even some of the semi-budget ones from Kaiser. But the fact that when this came out, Miguron Knives was a relatively new company. Not too many people have heard of them. They come stock with all T8 hardware all over the place. Titanium pocket clip that's actually very well machined. Backspacer piece. Ergonomics in a blade shape. Tolerance, fit, and finish. Good blade material. So I was like, you know what? This is excellent. This is good to go. And eventually I was planning to get more stuff from Miguron, but when I saw the pricing on some of the premium models, I was like, I got other stuff that I'm kind of saving money for. Maybe I'll check it out later. I missed out. I really did. I could have been enjoying this a whole lot sooner, but better late than never, I suppose. I'm glad to have this now in the collection. I do plan to do some anodizing work to this. I'm thinking purple, a nice deep purple would look good on that, and maybe a secondary color on top of it, possibly. Who knows? Probably gonna leave the blade and the hardware alone because it is all steel hardware. If I have any nitpicks, we'll do the weight real quick. If I have any nitpicks about this thing, it's probably going to be the fact that it is relatively thick behind the edge. 4 ounces, not bad at all. It's a little heavier for the size, but not bad. Yeah, it's a little thick behind the edge. I mean, people like BGM can always regrind stuff like this, but it's not bad at all. I've been checking out a lot of stuff that are like practically foldable laser beams. So when I went to go use this, I was like, well, you know, it's kind of thick, noticeably thicker than the other stuff that I've been checking out, but there was still something quite charming about this that I do definitely enjoy. I like the overall size. It feels great in hand. I absolutely love that it is all T8. Even though the weight relief for the frame lock is on the outside, should have been on the inside, but at least it's very well machined and it's not sharp at all. Even up here by the clip, the edge over here, everything is just well rounded, well machined, and I most definitely enjoy it. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review of mine. If you guys did, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed, thank you so much. I most definitely appreciate all your guys' support and your patience. Of course, if you are not subscribed, consider subscribing because I have plenty more videos and content coming your guys' way. And with that being said, have a wonderful rest of your day.